What's good, family? Hope y'all having a blessed Thursday night or wherever you are in the world. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. I got my brothers on the panel with me. We're gonna talk a little bit of wrestling for my wrestling fans, my black wrestling fans, especially. Coach 67 Sports TV was good, bro.
Man, I am blessed and highly favored. Today was an eventful day, but all is well. I count it all joy. How y'all brothers doing this evening?
I can't complain, man. Can't complain. JB, how about yourself, man?
Hey, Coach took the words right out of my mouth, man. Blessed, man. You know, had a great, successful day at work today. Hey, man, I'm ready to talk some wrestling, man.
All right, all right. It's been brought up again, fellas. I thought it was squash, which I'm gonna get into in just a second. You know, uh, we talked about this a year or two ago regarding Ahmed Johnson, and it seemed like the WWE, not just the Nation of Domination, but the past WWF stars, now WWE, but like people like Val Venus and Jake the Snake Roberts, and uh, who else didn't have anything nice to say about Ahmed Johnson? Uh,
Triple H.
Triple H, yeah, Triple H got with that video got 1 million views. Like, damn, saying that he was a horrible wrestler. But I'm a call bull. I call BS, man. I think there is something to this. A lot of people are just riding with the narrative. A lot of these folks, like Triple H, which if you know the history about Triple H, the son-in-law of the famous Vince
Vince McMahon.
McMahon, the
The
weirdo
Blue
Vince
Blood.
McMahon, Vince McMahon. You should know better. You should know better. You should have more discernment than that. Um, yeah. Now we talked about it, Coach. We're not saying that Ahmad Johnson wasn't an asshole. He wasn't stiff, but I believe he's being unfairly piled upon because he's an easy target. Um, he's no longer in wrestling anymore. He's this man trying to live his life. He does interviews from time to time, and he's admitted on these interviews. Yes, I was green. I was trying to find my way. Uh, but over the years, you heard people like D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, Booker T say how bad of a person this what bad of horrible of a human being he was, and I started noticing a pattern. Um, most of the people who are talking are WWE now. I was about to say WWF now WWE. They're shields for the WWE. Uh, uh, yes men for the WWE. Especially the
Coons for the WWE.
coons from the WWE, in my opinion. And we're gonna talk about it. What up, Chris? She said evening, y'all. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna watch a couple of videos, and then we're just gonna talk about what we think about it. So first, I want to say that it started with the beef between Farouk and Ahmad Johnson back in the gap. When Farouk ran out on Ahmad Johnson when he was wrestling. Help me out, coach. The Smoking Guns in the
I,
tag team.
it was some kind of tag team match, and Ron Simmons had came from WCW
WCW, yes sir.
debuting in WWE. He debuted as which is the stupidest thing ever. Why can he come from WCW and be Ron Simmons the first black world heavyweight champion in WWE. Well, not in WWE, but he's the first black heavyweight champion in WCW. Why couldn't he just be Ron Simmons? So they had him be an African Roman Spartan gladiator, which was like the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, that helmet was ridiculous. Go ahead.
So they had him run
Stupid
out.
as hell.
They had him had him run out, and he kicked Ahmed Johnson in the side, and he lacerated his kidney. And I'm not gonna lie, when we done talked about this particular topic on two previous occasions. And in one instance, you and JB was on like Ahmed Johnson's side, and my brother Brent Fox and I, we was on the other side. But I'm not gonna lie, like the more clips y'all have shown, and that's the thing about it, it shows how not just in wrestling, but in this white supremacist society we live in, there's a ridiculous double standard. Now, people talk about how horrible of a wrestler that Ahmed Johnson was, but we got individuals like Goldberg, maybe the Road Warriors that were synonymous with being extremely stiff. In fact, Goldberg ended Bret Hart's
Harsh
career.
Korea, yeah.
In addition to that, they talk about how bad of a human being he was. Shawn Michaels was synonymous with being a scumbag piece of trash. So at the end of the day, somebody like Shawn Michaels was able to get a redemption story. Why can't Ahmed Johnson get a redemption story? So at the end of the day, it shows that it's a double standard in the world we live in. And more than anything, like the videos y'all have shown that essentially it seems like from a company standpoint, they have a certain perspective of him, and they really like use person after person after person to really generate and create this narrative that he was a terrible human being, and not only him being a terrible human being, he was a terrible wrestler from the not from a technical standpoint, but from a well, they basically say he wasn't a good technical wrestler, but he was synonymous with being extremely stiff and hurting people. The same, the same jacket they put on Goldberg, they put that jacket on Ahmed Johnson
But
also.
there's a big ass difference.
Yeah, in addition to that, not only do they put that jacket on it, but for the most part, they've pretty much ostracized him from, wrestling. Nobody has anything good to say about it. And my point is, like we say, Shawn Michaels was synonymous with being a scumbag piece of trash. Goldberg was synonymous for being stiff and hurting people. You got other wrestlers who weren't great on the microphone. They claim he sounded like he had mush in his mouth, so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, it's like a lot of narratives that they stockpiled against him, and they make him seem like he the worst wrestler ever. Even though out the gate he got a great push because he had a great look, and he was like he looked extremely powerful back in those days.
Yeah, and you'll we're gonna show what Ahmad Johnson how much of a push that he was getting with especially what Mark Henry's going to say. That no one, not even Stone Cold, was getting the reaction to the fans. Chris said, and what up, my sister Chris? She said almost just like they tried to treat Mark Henry. Yeah, and Mark Henry's falling into it. He's falling into the foolishness, which I'm gonna show you. Salute Brent, my brother Brent Fox. He said, "Salute, brothers." Big Joseph Townsend, Old Hillside Bourbon Company in the building. Salute to the family. What's going on, brother? LDBC family in the business. And speaking of Old Hillside Bourbon Company, y'all support black owned business. If you want a bottle of bourbon or whiskey, this is a black owned company that you can support. Old, you can just go to a Google browser, internet browser, just type in Old Hillside Bourbon Company.com, and there you go. Support the brothers. They're doing big things. But yeah. So let's start with this. Let's start with Ahmad Johnson interview. Let me know if y'all can hear it when I play it.
Where at one point, I guess in the match, he kicked you.
Yeah, now that we think I
Yeah, I
think
can hear it.
purpose because I mean,
Well, I'll just interrupt you for a second. We saw around Simmons at a convention about a year and a half ago.
mhm.
Someone brought up that question to him in the Q&A, and he said that you were stiff, and it was a receipt for you to start to calm down.
I never wrestled him until that. Well, that's the first time we ever met each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I, mean, I didn't understand. I couldn't get that. I mean, that's the first time we ever met each other. I think that was more of the fact that he was jealous because he was the first black, I guess, WCW champion or
Yeah.
something, and I was the first black in WWF, and I think he thought that was kind of disrespectful. I had been there, a matter of a year, and he had put in numerous of years, before he became a champion.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been there 1 year and became, a champion. And I think he didn't like that. I think that was a little disrespectful because when I first met him backstage, I mean, I'm real quiet and keep to myself, so I didn't really speak to him when I first met him. And that was the night he was supposed to do the run out on me. And I think he thought that was a little disrespectful. But that's why I paid him back. And that match with me and the Road Warriors had against them, he went to I sent him to the hospital, and that's why I paid him back. He got a receipt for it.
Before we get to that, what take us back to that match with when you got injured at that point?
Well, I didn't know what was going on. It's just, we had me and Shawn Michaels was tag teaming against the Smoking Guns, and Farouk, when I went out the rope, Farouk was supposed to come out and and take over on me and beat me down. And he ran out there in that first kick. I mean, right in my kidney. I mean, it felt like a shotgun hit. And I was like, "Oh, I'll be damned." And Tom working stiff. Farouk is one of the stiffest guys in the business, brother. But I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like working against guys who are stiff.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kicked me in the kidney, and that was, basically it. I mean, I went to the hospital.
You knew you were hurt bad right then?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it hurt like hell, but I didn't know it was, that bad. Vader's the one who I was rooming with Vader at the time. We were sharing a room together. And while I was asleep, Vader said I was breathing funny. And he got up and called the ambulance, and they found out that he messed my kidney up a little bit.
And that kept you out for how long at that point?
About a month or so.
And you said you felt it was on purpose at that time?
Yeah, I feel it was a justice.
I mean, he actually even said it, that it was kind of on purpose. It was a receipt, but I guess so.
I wish he'd have told me that.
Yeah.
I wish he'd told me. I never heard that before. I mean, I wish I would have heard. I mean, I wish he'd told me that. But yeah, I guess I just feel it wasn't a receipt. How could it be a receipt? I never wrestled him before.
Yeah, maybe from what he heard from other guys who wrestled you to not do it in his matches, or that's the only thing.
His matches were always stiff.
Yeah,
but it was. I mean, we were stiff with respect. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I got to the point where I sent him back to the hospital, and
yeah, tell us that story. How
and that was a receipt. I mean, I did that on purpose. Yeah, that was a receipt because he had.
Okay, did y'all catch that? Did you catch? Because I remember the interview when the gentleman was talking. He interviewed Farouk, and you notice when he said Farouk said he hurt Ahmad Johnson to calm him down because this is what I believe happened. I believe the white wrestlers put a battery in Farouk's back to teach Ahmad Johnson a lesson not to be so stiff. Because prior to before he started talking about the Farouk situation, before he got into that topic, he spoke in the same interview. He mentioned that Shawn Michaels told him to stop diving off the the ropes and doing high flying moves because Ahmad Johnson, what 6'4", 6'5", 300 pounds. So when he was doing it, it looked amazing, and when Shawn Michaels was doing it, it didn't look
Impressive.
as
Yeah.
impressive. So he
So
told,
Shawn Michaels told him not to do it.
yeah. So I believe the click put a battery in Farouk back.
I'm not gonna lie.
Am
I
I
think
tripping to think that from what I just heard?
I'm gonna disagree with you on that. I agree with the
Okay.
point. I disagree. I agree with the point that I believe. I believe when he see hurt him on purpose. But this is the thing you got to realize. You know, I done heard New Jack said, may he rest in peace. He was another one they was talking about how crazy he was and, you know, how he hurt people on purpose with the rule. All right, that's understandable. But he was talking about how a lot of these black guys in the professional wrestling business are like Sambos, they coons, they sellouts. And then in addition to that, you had other people like Tony Atlas, who New Jack was,
Oh,
synonymous.
Tony Atlas, another one.
He was saying that he a coon, he a buck dancing, bootlick Sambo. Even Tony Atlas said, hey, in these territories back in those days, you only got like, one black person. And when another black person come in the territory, you only got so many spots. And it's kind of like you want to be the only black guy in the movie. At one point, I don't know if y'all remember this. Back in the Gap, used to have certain movies. They would only have one black guy in the entire movie, and you won't be that one black guy in the movie, and you won't be the one black guy in the territory. So he was
Mm.
saying that in certain instances, even though you had more black wrestlers in those mid to early '90s, even though you got more black wrestlers, you only got one top spot, and clearly at that point, you know even Mark Henry said it himself, the only person that was getting a pop
We
like
gonna
Stone
hear it in a
Cold,
minute.
yeah, like Stone Cold was Ahmed Johnson. So he was like saying he was over his hell. So why would they kill his push for one? You know, really outside of the injuries. But in addition to that, I feel like it was some professional jealousy between
It
Ron
was.
Simmons and Ahmed Johnson because, like he said, it took him years to get to that top spot and being the first black heavyweight champion in WCW. And realistically, Ahmed Johnson was kind of like a black version of Goldberg before Goldberg.
He was.
And I mean, he got pushed to the moon. He was, and people don't realize when he got hurt, he was the Intercontinental Champion. And in addition to that, he was the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Champion for Stone Cold's belt. And once he hurt him, it kind of killed everything. And then in addition to that, it kind of started a cycle where he was constantly getting hurt. So he'd come back for a while, he'd wrestle a while, then he'd get hurt, and then he kept flip flopping from like I'm a baby face to now I'm a bad guy, I'm joining the nation. So that first injury, it was kind of like the downward cycle and the downward spiral of, kind of messing his career up.
You're not wrong, Coach, and there's something to what you're saying. You own it, but I think uh you seeing what I'm saying, but what the only reason why I'm staying on what I just said is because what the interviewer said that Farouk told him.
No,
He
I
said
mean,
it was
don't get
receipts.
me wrong. I mean, I think we agreeing on some things, and I think what you're saying is plausible and it is feasible. But I think it was more jealousy than other.
Oh, it was see, and you're right. I'm not even disagreeing with that. You're 100% right. It's just that the receipt part. And Ahmad John said, "How could that be a receipt? I never wrestled him before."
No, and I'm not gonna lie. Until you and JB, the first time we had this conversation, like I said, with the four of us, with Brent Fox, I'm not gonna lie. Like me and Brent Fox was on the nation side, and y'all was on the opposite side. But once y'all showed this interview clip, and y'all start piecing together the timeline, y'all like, I didn't know that. So once y'all showed that, I'm like, all right, maybe this narrative they've been building against him is kind of faulty.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And I think Farouk may not have. I don't know. I think Farouk was jealous, but I also don't wouldn't put past him um doing it because the clique told him to do that to calm Ahmad Johnson down because everybody was complaining about him being stiff and everything, and that's what the interviewer just said.
But all right, but I understand it's a different company. Man, I promise you, Ahmed Johnson is not the first wrestler in the history of professional wrestling to be stiff. Why nobody decided to say, you know what, hey, let's go out there and hurt the Road Warriors? Because there was synonymous.
Right, right.
Or why nobody said, hey, let's go out there and let's hurt Goldberg?
Oh,
Because
Big Van Vader. Yeah.
a Vader. Vader was another one. You know, hey, Vader and Stan Hansen has like this legendary match where they just flat out just beating the piss out of each other. So at the end of the day, like, why nobody decided to do that to these guys? It's one difference between Ahmed Johnson and all the other wrestlers I named. And y'all know the difference.
Yes, sir. And my Johnson just said it. Farouk and JBL, they were stiff they damn self. But let me go back a little bit.
Hurt me, and I believe it one who I was rooming with Vader at the time. We were sharing. When I first met him backstage, I mean, I was think anybody I had any problems with.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I know of.
What was I guess the whole story about your feud with
I want y'all to hear
Farouk,
what the
and
interviewer said.
where at one point, I guess in the match, he kicked you.
Yeah, now that we think I think that was done on purpose because I mean,
Well, I'll just interrupt you for a second. We saw around Simmons at a convention about a year and a half ago.
mm-hmm.
Someone brought up that question to him in the Q&A, and he said that you were stiff, and it was a receipt for you to start to calm down.
I never wrestled him until that. Well, the
Mhm.
first time we ever met each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
Man, man,
I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying
that's
to tell
fucked
you.
up.
And then let me get into and I showed you. Yeah, and I'm not defending the character of Ahmad Johnson, aka Tony Norris. I never met the man, but I
You
I
smell bullshit when you
yeah,
see
I smell bullshit, especially dealing with a company with Vince
with a whole
McMahon.
lot of
And
lies and stuff.
yes, and
I mean,
people just
that's-
running with the shit.
but the way they're synonymous for booking black wrestlers, we could go back to, y'all want to talk about the new day being some minstrel show clowns. And
Yes,
don't get me
sir.
wrong, I like the New Day. I like them as individuals, but I didn't like, the unicorns and the rainbows and the bootios and the pancakes and the gyrating and the twerking and the playing of the trombone. Uh, around the Troop killings. How they got him looking like a individual that really has mental health issues that just there to entertain people and make people laugh. Crime Time. So I mean, you got Crime Time, the New Day. Uh, you know, I like the Street Profits to a certain degree, but if you go back in the gap, you had people like, hey, look at Tony Atlas, Saba Simba. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, you got to realize at one point he was one half of the first black tag team champ. Is him and Rocky Johnson, which is The Rock's dad, right?
Hmm.
Years later, you come back, you know been in multiple territories. Is Mr. USA, Mr. Olympia, big strong muscle guy, and years later you come in here is a spear chucking African named Saba Simba. I'm like, man, what the hell is this? And even uh even Roddy Piper said, that ain't no Saba Simba, that's Tony Atlas. I said, oh my goodness, bro. Like New Jack said, he said, man, hey, he said when he came out there, being a spear chucker, he was like, man, he set black people back 400 years, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
he
it's
did.
like, bro,
We
listen,
already had people like Kamala had to do those that was
diet.
Yeah, the Uganda Giant. That was a crazy gimmick as well. So people already did that, and then you're gonna, yeah, that's crazy.
Booker T, King Booker.
Oh no, I ain't gonna lie. That was another. That was crazy. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I like his work, but why in the hell you got to be a clown? I'm gonna use a movie analogy. Man, Denzel Washington killed it in so many movies, so many movies, so many movies. He did not win an Oscar until he was a bad guy in Training Day.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, that is not coincidence, fellas.
No, it's
Like,
not.
this is the society we live in. It's like, come on, man. I mean, if Denzel would have been a white actor, he'd have had probably a ton of Oscars before Training Day. So it's just the
Facts.
society we live in, you know?
It is, man, and I want to add this to the conversation, this video, and I showed you this before, Coach. I sent it to, I texted it to you, but I just wanted to send it to give it more context before I show the D-Lo, the Godfather, and Mark Henry interviews. Here we go. Let me know if you can hear it.
The only time that I ever seen it in live in 3D was dumbass Ahmed Johnson, all people in the world to pick a beef with. He kicked Ron and lacerated Ron's liver. Ooh. And Ron was out for about 9 months. And I'm thinking the whole time, when Ron come back, I feel sorry for this dude because he gave him his body and he kicked him as hard as I ever seen a human being kicked. Teddy Long was driving the car with me, and he said, "Hey man, Ron Simmons come back next week." I said, "Oh man, that's cool." He was like, "Nah, listen, this is between me and you. I live in Atlanta. I talk to Ron all the time. Ron is pissed, and he said that when he come back, he gonna hurt this dude." And I'm like, "Oh snap!" Like I couldn't. I'm like, he's like, "Don't say nothing, I'm just letting you know, like don't be around him because he got heat." I was like, all right, I ain't messing with him anyway. So they get back, and I remember the first time I saw Ron. Ron is always like, "Hey, Henry." He walked right by me like I wasn't there. Posted up in the locker room, and I can't remember who it was. Somebody went and sat next to him. Ron grabbed all his stuff kind of in a huff and moved it over into an area where he was by himself. And it was so unlike Ron. He was so angry being back at the arena, knowing that Ahmed was coming. And he was mentally preparing himself for what was about to happen. And I remember looking at the card, and Ron been gone for 9 months or more. And it was Ron Simmons, Ahmed Johnson. And I went, holy cow, it was a sellout. I remember being a sellout.
Refer to what you're talking about a sellout. I'm sure
Okay, so for those that don't know what a sellout, this is not when you sell all the tickets in the arena. I'm talking about when all the boys are standing at the curtain and they're peeking through because they want to watch what's going to happen with their real eyes rather than watching a monitor or being in the gorilla position. It was a build up, and I'm telling you, it was not a lockup. It was a mauling. Ron ran through him. His back hit the ground. Ron stomped on his stomach, and then when he rolled over to try to get up, Ron kicked him in the ribs, broke 3 of his ribs, and I mean, it was like watching a tiger or a lion or something attack some helpless animal in the wild. And Ron pinned him. And at this time, and I'm gonna use your analogy, Ahmed Johnson was over as hell during that time. The only person getting a reaction like yours was his. He was that over. 6 months later, done. He got killed off in one night. It was that night that Ron came back and whooped his ass. His run was over.
What was I guess the whole story about your feud with Farouk, and where at one point, I guess in the match, he kicked you.
Yeah, now that I think that was done on purpose because I mean,
Well, I'll just interrupt you for a second. We saw around Simmons at a convention about about a year and a half ago.
mhm.
Someone brought up that question to him in the Q&A, and he said that you were stiff, and it was a receipt for you to start to calm down.
I never wrestled him until that. Well, that's the first time we ever met each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I didn't understand. I couldn't get that. I mean, that's the first time we ever met each other. I think that was more of the fact that he was jealous because he was the first black, I guess, WCW champion or
Yeah.
something, and I was first black in WWF, and I think he thought that was kind of respectful. I had been there, a matter of a year, and he had put in numerous of years, before he became a champion.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been there 1 year and became, a champion. And I think he didn't like that. I think that was a little disrespectful because when I first met him backstage, I mean, I'm real quiet and keep to myself, so I didn't really speak to him when I first met him. And that was the night he was supposed to do the run out on me. And I think he thought that was a little disrespectful. But that's why I paid him back. And that match with me and the Road Warriors had against them, I sent him to the hospital then. That's why I paid him back. He got a receipt for it.
Before we get to that, what take us back to that match with when you got injured at that point?
Well, I didn't know what was going on. Just, we had me and Shawn Michaels was tag teaming against the Smoking Guns. And Farouk, when I went out the rope, Farouk was supposed to come out and, and take over on me and beat me down. And he ran out there in that first kick, I mean, right in my kidney. I mean, it felt like a shotgun hit. And I was like, oh, I'll be damned. And talking about stiff, Farouk is one of the stiffest guys in the business, brother. But I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like working against guys who are stiff,
Mm-hmm.
And he just kicked me in the kidney, and that was, basically it. I mean, I went to the hospital.
You knew you were hurt bad right then?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it hurt like hell, but I didn't know it was, that bad. Vader's the one who I was rooming with Vader at the time. We were sharing a room together. And while I was asleep, Vader said I was breathing funny. And he got up and called the ambulance, and they found out that he messed my kidney up a little bit.
And that kept you out for how long at that point?
I think about a month or so.
And you said you felt it was on purpose at that time?
Yeah, I feel it was a justice.
I mean, he actually even said it, that it was kind of on purpose. It was a receipt, but I guess so.
I wish he'd have told me that.
Yeah.
I wish he'd told me. I never heard that before. I mean, I wish he'd told me that. But yeah, I guess I just feel it wasn't a receipt. How could it be a receipt? I never wrestled him before.
Yeah, maybe from what he heard from other guys who wrestled you to not do it in his matches, or that's the only thing.
His matches were always stiff.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, we were stiff with respect. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I got to the point where I sent him back to the hospital. And
yeah, tell us that story.
And that was a receipt. I mean, I did that on purpose. Yeah, that was a receipt because he had, hurt me, and I believe in returning my receipts.
Mm-hmm. What match was this again?
It was I don't remember what it was, but it was me and the Road Warriors against the Nation, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a street fight. And I gave him a spine buster and drove my head in his ribs and broke a couple of his ribs.
Was this on a pay-per-view? It was a 6-man? It was, I think.
Yeah, it was 6. Well, Nation always count more than 6 men, but yeah, it was supposed to be a 6-man.
Fair use YouTube.
Fair use YouTube. Thank you, Coach. So you notice, right? So Mark Henry, when he tells a story, he's saying as if Ahmed Johnson kicked Farouk first and lacerated with his liver. But just keep watching.
Farouk come out with that stupid ass shit on
All my real wrestling fans, you know this is actually his debut, Farouk's debut, because he came on with that stupid ass helmet.
Farouk Assad.
Yep.
I mean, he kicked the hell out of him. Then he body slammed him. Dang.
And I see y'all in eye of the watcher. I appreciate you coming in, bro. My brother Big Reg, appreciate you coming by. Uh Ron Simmons made his WWF debut on July 22nd, 1996. Prior to this date, the two had not met anywhere else. So where did Ahmed Johnson lacerate Ron's liver? Also, Ron Simmons had never gone for 9 months or even 2 months while uh, on at WWF. I don't know why I did that. My bad.
The thing about it, bro, first of all, we got to realize these guys like professional wrestlers. These guys used to be on the road back in those days, like 300 days a year, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when stuff that happened like 20, 30 years ago, like it'd be hard to get the dates right, this, that, and the third. And then in addition to that, especially some of these guys like Mark Henry, they done been hitting the head with chairs and stuff. They might not remember the facts of stuff,
I
but,
agree.
I know.
but
I hear what you're saying, but I'm not giving him that excuse, Coach. Because he's winning this interview, and like I the watching, and Big Red said this interview is old. Then he goes on this new interview, which he just did a week ago, and basically
no,
it
I'm not
provides
giving
the same thing.
I'm not giving him no grace. I'm gonna, but he's built this false narrative probably in his mind. That's the point I'm trying to make, and he just gonna keep running. Cause
Yeah,
see,
yes, sir.
one of the good things for me when I was a coach, whether it was football or basketball, like I remember stuff. I'm not saying I remember everything and I remember every single thing, but I remember way more stuff than the average person. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I remember tendencies. This, that, and the third. So everybody don't have that kind of memory, especially when you was in the professional wrestling business for like 20 years and this, that, and the third, and you was on a road for like 300 days a year. So I'm not giving him that grace because he done built the false narrative. But at the same token, I think legitimately in his mind he believed that's how it transpires.
Yeah, I buy that because he goes on this recent interview, and y'all just bear with me. I'm just getting this context. I know some of y'all probably already seen these, but I'm just getting the context together. Ida Watcher said they even said that he was bigger than Ron Simmons on commentary. Definition of Mandela effect. Yes, sir. What's up, 86 Goats? Okay. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear it.
But I'm talking about when you joined the nation at the beginning. So when that happened, it's like Montreal's just happened. You've come back. You're in the Nation of Domination with Ron Simmons,
I'm
Rock,
doing up well,
etc.
Ghost,
How
man. Thank you
important
for
was that for
stopping
you?
by,
And how
brother.
do you remember that coming about? That they were like, "We're going to put you in the nation."
Well, it was great because it was like master's class. It's like being around Ron Simmons.
Thank you,
It's
Idle
like being
Watcher.
around that uncle that's very strict, and he's like, "Y'all kids quit playing." Like Ron's tough dude, man. And he was like, "Look, I ain't trying to scare none of y'all. If you don't want to do what I say, you're not gonna be around me. I'm gonna just tell you right off the bat." And I was like, "Oh, all right." And he wasn't trying to be tough. He was trying to further our careers. Like he always used to say, it's about longevity. It's like you don't want to be here for 2 or 3 years and gone, and then nobody knows who you are. He's like, put 10, 15 years in the business, and then you can do like me and start teaching. And that's what happened. Everybody that was in the nation had success. You go to every wrestling faction in the history of wrestling, and I guarantee you there's 1 or 2 guys that they just didn't make it. The Rock became The Rock. I mean, Owen was already over and good, the Black Heart gimmick, and Ron, of course, the first Black champion of all time, and Godfather, or Kama at the time, became the Godfather and had incredible success. I mean, like you couldn't have a show.
I want to add this because I heard I saw Idle Watcher and Big Reg mention it. Like I said in the beginning of the show, Ahmed Johnson and Ron Simmons got together and they squashed it. But Mark Henry, somewhat D'Lo Brown, and the Godfather pretty much brought up the beef again. And well, mainly the Mark Henry and Godfather interviews kind of sparked it again, where everybody's talking about it, and it's getting on my nerves because I believe everybody's piling on. Everybody's piling on Ahmad Johnson, and it's not what everybody's trying to say. Let me continue with the interview.
So without him coming out going, everybody jump aboard the. Well, y'all said that like y'all in church. It's rotten. But
Try it again.
Okay. Everybody come aboard the. All right. That's
the angriest whole train I've ever heard.
And me and D-Lo were no different. Like both of us became champions. And
somebody I wanted to mention who's kind of Nation of Domination adjacent, but I wanted to bring them up was Ahmed Johnson, because he was around at that time, and there's so many stories about him of whether he was able to, whether he could have been a bigger star or made it. You were around at that time. Could Ahmed have been a bigger deal, or was
yeah? Well, I mean, it's no secret that I don't like him. Like I think he's a bad representation of wrestling. I thought he was a bad representation of the plight of the African American wrestler in wrestling, and just not a good guy and a liar. I can't. If you got one of those, you pretty damn bad. He had every negative quality that you can have, and there was a time when I got there and I saw Ahmed, and I was like, I want to be like him. He came in after me, but he was so good. Excuse my language. He was good. Steve Austin was not getting the pops that he was getting. Just to put it in perspective. 6 months later, you could hear a mouse pee on cotton because the boys stopped working for him. The company lost faith in him. He did everything you could do to get out of work. So when he crossed the line with me, which, that's me and his business, I ain't have no words for him. I told him, I said, don't never speak to me again. I said, if you ever speak to me, wave at me, wink at me, like I'm going to end you. And it's going to ruin both our lives. because I'm gonna be in jail and you're gonna be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. And I meant that, and I still mean it. He asked to apologize to me through somebody else last year when, was that 2 years ago when he was in Philadelphia. And I said, no, I don't want to talk to him. And I'm asking God to take the hate out of my heart. But that dude crossed the line. And he did that with everybody. So it wasn't just me. He kicked Ron Simmons so hard he lacerated his liver and had no remorse. Didn't care.
Now, fellas, did we see that?
Well, see what he referring to in terms of crossing the line with him. He did this interview where he said it was him and Rikishi and Ahmed Johnson. They was sitting at dinner, and Ahmed Johnson put 2 somas in his water, and he was like, he doesn't even drink alcohol. In the same interview,
Allegedly.
yeah, the same interview with Steve Austin, right? When he told Steve Austin the only person was getting a pop like yours was his, and Steve Austin didn't know that. So he said Ahmed Johnson peeled him, and when he talking about Junior, he talking about Rikishi. So basically, he was saying it wasn't no more than the 3 of them at the table. He got up and he left, and when he came back, he saw the pills in his glass or whatever. And he said after that point, like he didn't mess with him no more after that or whatever. And basically Rikishi was sitting at the table and he was like, there's only 3 of us here and I didn't do it. So he didn't say, hey, Ahmed did it because he didn't want to snitch, I guess. But basically he was saying, hey, I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, all right, well, how you know he peeled you? You know?
Right.
Because Rikishi didn't say, hey, he did it. So, I mean, I don't know. And not only that, but truthfully speaking, Ahmed Johnson can't be the biggest scumbag piece of trash ever in the wrestling history. My thing about Mark Henry is in this context, if that had been a white wrestler, would you have forgiven him? And would you still be holding on to this grudge like you holding on to this grudge after all of these years for another black man? So you holding this grudge against another black man. If this was a white wrestler, would you still be holding on to that hate and animosity? That's my question. And
That's
I
a
don't.
good
And it
point.
sound like he reached out to squash whatever beef they had, and he said no.
And that's the thing.
So
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, and I told y'all this story before when I was working at another school a few years ago.
What up, Mr. Shelton?
They had this, this school was like 90-something% black, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a Hispanic kid did this other black kid something. This black kid was like the toughest kid in his grade level, and none of the other kids went to school with him. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he was in a gang. He might have been like a vulture, bleeder, 300, 600, whatever, right? So the Hispanic kid kind of half-heartedly apologized to him. He really didn't really apologize to him, and he accepted the apology. Now, a black kid did far less. In fact, if you didn't know him, you would low key think they were brothers. You know, because they kind of resemble each other. I'm not saying they look just alike, but they favored each other a little bit. They resembled each other. He kind of half-heartedly did something or whatever. He didn't have no malicious intent. He wanted to fight this boy, and this boy like apologized to him like sincerely, and he wouldn't accept the apology. And I'm like, son, you didn't see what you just did? I understand what you're saying. I'm like, first of all, y'all kids in this school, y'all don't, because y'all from these rough inner city, Baton Rouge neighborhoods, y'all don't have no conflict resolution skills. But not only that, but when a Hispanic kid half-heartedly apologized to you, really didn't apologize to you, accepted his apology immediately. But the other black kid apologized to you sincerely and wholeheartedly, and you didn't even accept it. All the smoke. So it's like, why do black people have this? And I pointed it out, and he was like, "Oh, I never thought about it like that." And I'm not gonna lie, at least he kind of took a step back and was like, "All right, hey, you know what, coach, you're right." And I don't know why black people have this animosity. It's like we've been conditioned and trained and taught to hate each other.
It's crazy, man. We have smoke for each other. We ready to go to war, but we all docile and play
You wanna hug
nicely.
the judge and you wanna God bless the family and all that when it's somebody. Nah, I don't respect that. That's cowardice to me.
And that's my point. I had to watch. He said, "I think Mark. I think Mark is getting the time frame messed up about the different injury. Yeah, he did it again. That's why, like me and Coach saying, I don't give him grace when it comes to this because he's spreading incorrect information again, spreading lies again. I don't
False,
know if he's doing
false,
it intentionally,
false narrative.
false narratives. Yeah, because Ryan kicked Ahmad Johnson first. We all saw it. Hell, we can go on the internet and see it.
But this the thing about it though. You know, he's making it seem like Ahmed was such a scumbag for hurting Farouk or hurting Ron Simmons. Basically, they said Ron Simmons admitted that he hurt him on purpose.
Yeah,
So you don't have this smoke for Ron Simmons too, you know.
because he know better.
And
He
not
look
only,
up to Ron Simmons. That's why.
no, but not only that, but we talk about, you know, a few, probably say, but a month ago, uh, you know, Jared and the general and myself, we had this conversation about, race issues in the workplace. And I'm gonna be truthful. You know, initially Mark Henry was this no nonsense, don't take no BS kind of guy. When he threatened to click and Sid and Shawn Michaels and told him he would he would beat him to death and all kind of nonsense or whatever. But eventually he turned into a go along, get along kind of guy, a company man.
Hmm.
Sexual chocolate, that type of thing. We see the same thing with Booker T and King Booker. Everything they put him through. I mean, even Triple H told Booker T to his face, like, "Hey, you people ain't good for nothing." And then you would think Booker T should have won the WWF champion and the WWE championship at the WrestleMania. Triple H still won. So the
Yeah,
point I'm trying to make is they put these black guys through so much, but the guys that really advance kind of eventually have to, somewhat like, go along to advance their career. And to me, it kind of sounds like I think more so than Ahmed Johnson being a bad human being. I think from a race component, I don't think he was a go along to get along kind of guy. And I think that's what kind of got him.
and let me make my stance clear. I don't know if Ahmad Johnson could have been an asshole. He could have been. If I would have met him back in the day, I probably wouldn't have liked him. But at the same time, if I sense he was type of brother, you ain't gonna them white boys ain't gonna say no racist shit in the locker room around him, and he just gonna laugh it off and not say anything. Ahmad Johnson wasn't built like that.
But no, but not only that, but this is the point I'm trying to make. They talk about how he was such a scumbag human being. The way they talk, like as bad as Ahmed Johnson was, he couldn't even come close to approaching the scumbag that Shawn Michaels was around that same time frame. Especially once,
Period.
especially once Shawn Michaels became like
Oh,
WWF.
Ric Flair and WCW.
Yeah, that's
Man,
what I'm.
you can.
So that's my point though. So Ahmed Johnson couldn't have been the worst human being to ever be in professional wrestling. I mean, clearly there's a racial double standard, and you know, Mark Henry always bring up this point of when I can't think of who it was. I think it might have been Big Cat on the Lad. He was like, look, hey, people like him paved the way for other black wrestlers. Don't be the guy to mess it up. And he was like, Ahmed Johnson was the guy, to somewhat mess it up. And I'm like, man, bro, hey,
That's crazy, man.
that's a big statement to make.
Cause you know what it was, Ahmad Johnson. He could have been the Black Goldberg, but for some reason, because he didn't uh bow down and kiss the ring, that and because he was getting that pissed a lot of wrestlers who was jealous of him from the get go off. So they was like, F him. That's what I'm getting out of it. Uh, I had to watch you said Booker T was talking about the paycheck. He got denied the promo. He was built to mix in race. Years later, he finally admitted that the promo was designed in a racial manner. Ahmad got angry with Goldust for kissing him. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he talks about that. Yeah, and he beat the he beat the that after Goldberg kissed him, and that when Ahmad Johnson go wild and
Gold,
pummels
gold dust,
Gold,
yeah.
that was real. That was real. Cause he told Goldust to put his hand over his hand and act like it, and he didn't do it.
Hand over his mouth.
Hand over his mouth. So, thank you. And Dustin Rose, aka Goldust, did not do that. But let's continue, fellas, so we can move on.
So happens, man. You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. Ron came back and kicked his ass. But Ron was merciful. When he was on the ground, Ron didn't stomp all his teeth out. He would have never chewed again if he'd have did to me what he did to Ron. So it's like there's a level of disrespect that you can give a man. You know how many men in prison right now because somebody disrespected them? I guarantee you there's probably a quarter of the people in prison are there because they just felt like there was no other place to go but to kill them. That's the way Ahmed used to rub people. I know 10 people. I can get on my phone right now and call 10 people and say, hey, man, what you think about Ahmed?
All in WWE.
They will go off. I'm not joking. I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying.
Who,
He
Val
was a
Venus?
dirty man.
It does kind of make sense though, because I feel like on screen they gave him so many chances,
Man,
They
he
gave him
wonderful.
a lot of chances.
more than you would give him.
If he was sucked and he was bad, then I would have been like, damn, why they giving him a shot? He was good. I was like,
Man, come on, man. That was 30 years ago. Why we keep bringing this up, bro?
So here's the thing. So he said he was good. Didn't which the video got 1 million views. Didn't Triple H say that he wasn't that good? So which one was it? Which one was it?
Yeah, and see, that's the thing about it. When you try to spin these narratives, especially coming from the company and people inside the company, some people might, Triple H, when he say he might have been good, he might have meant technically. And I think, maybe Mark Henry saying he was good from a charisma standpoint, and he just was that guy, that dude. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's irrelevant. When you try to have these kind of conversations, you don't know what people mean, but I'm just kind of speculating.
I hear you. I hear you. Let's continue.
I was like, if this guy would have been benevolent and respectful and encouraging and not selfish, like he would have been a god in wrestling. I guarantee you, he would have been up there with Rock and Austin, and I mean, he was awesome.
Pause it. Did he say what I just think he said?
Yep.
What you
Yes,
talking
he
about?
did. That's my point. You caught that too.
What he said, JB?
So no other white wrestlers got to be that. Why did Ahmed Johnson got to be that?
Yeah,
non-selfish. I don't get. So what that means is he didn't play ball.
That there you go, JB.
Well, I
Because
mean,
there was a lot of selfish and unlikable wrestlers like Ric Flair,
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan,
The king of being selfish. Dude,
Jeff Jarrett.
You do realize if Hulk Hogan wasn't so selfish when it came to the NWO, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I think his selfishness is what really killed WCW with the finger poke with Kevin Nash and that whole situation, if they'd have kept Goldberg hot, I think WCW probably could have went on maybe like another 5 years or so. You know what I'm
They
saying?
would have won the Monday Night War, probably.
I know, but the fact that Hulk Hogan really just was worried about him. Come on, man. Ahmed Johnson is by far. It's not even close. He's nowhere near the most selfish wrestler to ever be in professional wrestling. Come on, man.
He
And
put dubs on it, and I hate when I understand he don't like. It. That's not what I'm tripping on. You cannot like somebody. I understand that. He Almont run him the wrong way. Almont was probably an asshole because he felt like Almont felt like he had to be an asshole to survive around the locker room or whatever. Who cares? Like I said, it was 30 years ago. But that narrative he's saying that no other and we all three of us in here are wrestling fans. No other wrestler, especially the white ones, have to be that non-selfish.
mm, good man, good pickup, JB.
And not only that though, but another thing too. I'm not gonna lie, I was a huge fan of, Mark Henry, the the Hall of Pain. But even when
Yes,
you think about it, they tell a story about how Michael Hayes was like, "Hey, I'm more of a N-word, or more black than Mark Henry." Man, he wouldn't have told that to nobody like New Jack, because New Jack would have beat the brakes off of Michael Hayes. So that's why I'm saying, to a certain degree, not to a certain degree, to a big degree, I think that no nonsense crap that they talk about with Mark Henry and how he threatened to beat up the clique or murder the clique, and then he, had to go up there to Canada for a while and get trained and this, that, and the third. He eventually became a go along to get along kind of guy, because if he wouldn't
it's
he,
man,
he wouldn't have had the Hall of Pain run that he had.
Thank you,
man.
Coach.
I'm trying to
He
tell you,
mentions that
Coach,
he had
bro.
the they basically he tell you how he had a, and it's funny. He admits he had an attitude, and then
He had anger.
him going to Canada saved his career.
Yeah, he had to go to. He had anger issues. He wasn't used to people testing him and trying him, and he was no nonsense and no BS. Everything y'all speculate and y'all think that Ahmed Johnson really was. So really, when he tell that story on the 6 Feet Under podcast with the Undertaker, really the way he describing himself, it sounds like what Ahmed Johnson was. He was dead at one point too.
Yes,
And somebody need to
and I
change
think
their smoke
they,
alarm. Go ahead. This is a real black show.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Look, man, and it's not about the unself. It's what I'm hearing is not that he said he needs to be not selfish, but what the 78 was just saying with the black boxers, humble yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hear. In other
Mm,
words,
it's
and
pretty
I
much.
don't. I just look, man. My heart is kind of as I ain't gonna say broken, but I'm kind of upset that another black man reached out to you to squash the beef, and you that angry. You could have talked to him all the
30
things. Y'all was young. You did bullshit. But if a white man would have called your mama smelly nigga, you want to hold hands and bring up the Bible and all. Nah, man, I don't respect that. You gotta have that same smoke for everybody, man. That's cowardice.
No,
Nah.
and not only that, but he talk all this good Christian talk too. And then you talking about hating and other bread. Come on, man. Like I know nobody perfect, but to me that seems like a certain degree of hypocrisy to me.
Yeah, it is,
Nah,
man.
man.
And yeah, Ahmad Johnson did come up through the independent, and Mark did not. Yeah, that's true. Anthony Bolton, what's up, bro? Memphis man in the building. Salute. Okay, let's. This is overkill at this point with Mark Henry. Um,
But he just didn't like people, and people
And you're gonna hear he just didn't get it. You're gonna hear that too in these next two interviews.
Man, he done said that. I don't know how many. I done heard him say that a bunch. When he said he just didn't get it, what didn't he get? Like you gotta articulate that point better than me because I don't understand what he didn't get.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Now let's hear what D'Lo Brown has to say.
The one that put Grand Grill in the
Not
paralyzed
Gangrel draws.
draws. Thank you.
Rivals of the nation, but also he was in it for like a cup of coffee. What was your relationship with Ahmed Johnson?
I always looked at Ahmed as the guy who was supposed to have a ton of success and never lived up to his potential. He was supposed to be the dude. He was supposed to be him. For various reasons, he never aspired to it. And as you duly put out, that he and Ron have squashed their beef, and I'm with Ron. If he and Ron are okay, then he and I are okay. Because I follow Ron. When Ron's mad at somebody, Ron can be mad at his shoe, and I'm mad at his shoe too.
Yeah.
Okay. I got no heat with Ahmed. I wish him
Pause
the
that
best.
shit.
I hope him a very long and fruitful
Pause
life.
that
And
shit. Jerry, you a genius. They playing that shit, bro.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
That man said if Ron is mad at his shoe, I'm mad at his shoe. So this got another champion. He been there long with me. Fuck this nigga. Let's go get this nigga together. That's what it sounds like to
That's
me.
what I'm saying. We wasn't there.
When you
I'm
let
just putting
niggas
pieces together, man.
and forgive our audience, our 8 audience members listen, but when you let certain niggas just talk, they expose themselves. They can make it sound like however they want it to sound, but if you just let motherfuckers just keep talking, the truth gonna come out. Now that's the God I serve. He give me patience. Just let people just keep talking, and he gonna show you. You gotta listen though. You can't just be happy to be there. You gotta listen to when people talk, so they gonna tell you the truth. He said what he said. He said that if Ron Simmons is mad at somebody, he's gonna be mad at somebody too. That sounds like a click to me, fellas.
Yeah. That's my whole point. 86 Go said that's Mark Henry now. Mark Henry was known as a hothead in the locker room, and they would not mess with him. They would mess with him, and one time he almost beat the crap out of JBL. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I basically said the same thing earlier. I didn't tell a whole 6 feet under story with the Undertaker, but yeah, essentially it comes from that same podcast. You know what I'm saying? The same interview.
Strong body, weak mind, perfect slave, Mark Henry. And I had to watch that. I wouldn't go as far as call the man a slave. Hey, a lot of times, us, especially as black people, we do act like slaves spiritually without the shackles. Because a lot of us do not know our history.
The mindset.
It's a mindset.
That's why.
So I understand what you're saying. I watch it, but just open you see it out here, bro.
I mean, that's why in the LDBC we really have low tolerance for people like Sean Porter and Bernard Hopkins and all of these people that just praise Tank no matter what he do, but they got all of these issues with Devin Haney and Bill Haney and Deontay Wilder, but yet they love Tyson Fury. It's like, bruh, so many of these black people are just weird. And realistically, I think it's a perfect parallel because if you look at a lot of issues in boxing, those same issues are prevalent in professional wrestling also.
Yes,
and I think it's the this white supremacy side. The closer you are to white, the better you are. The closer you are to black, worse you are.
Facts, man. Facts.
I'm sorry, Jay.
No, you fine.
Go ahead.
That was a good point.
And hopefully one day he gets the flowers he deserves for his moment in the sun in wrestling because he was something no one had ever seen before, and quite frankly, I don't think anybody's ever seen since. He was just a freak of nature. I wish his career would have played out differently, because he should have been and could have been a world champion. It's amazing how success sometimes breeds ego, contentment, and then paranoia.
Yeah.
And those all play in there. And sometimes you see people coming at you when no one's coming at you. Maybe they're coming at you to help you. And sometimes you see people coming at you as trying to take your spot. And I'll leave it at that. Just that's a man who history should have been different. And Ahmed should have been world champion.
One of the greatest rivals.
All right, and fair use YouTube. So let's go to the. We're gonna go ahead and go to the Godfathers.
To ask you about, he doesn't get talked about very often, but what was it like working with Ahmed Johnson?
You know, the thing I say about Ahmed is he just didn't get it. He didn't get it. And Ron tried to help him. I tried to help him. Everybody tried to help him, but he wouldn't listen. He thought he knew it all. He had no wrestling ability whatsoever, and he kept hurting people. Well, once you start hurting their top stars, you're not going to be around long, because that's their money. And he just didn't get it. He didn't get it. And you should see what he looks like now. Has anybody seen him lately? He's got to be 400 pounds. And if you Google Ahmed Johnson and see what he looks like now, when I seen him last 2 times ago that I seen him, I thought he was Abdullah the Butcher. You know, I'm not joking. I'm like, who's that over there? Is that Abby? They're like, that's Ahmed. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, he's just
it is.
piling it on.
I'm like, wow. So.
And at one point, because he was in the feud with the Nation for like a year, and then eventually he joins the Nation. I mean, did you when you found out he's joining the Nation, did you guys think that was going to work, or was that one of the ideas of trying to teach him?
We had no idea. Same with Mark Henry. Mark Henry couldn't work at all that's why they put Mark Henry in the Nation, because Ron would be like, no, you stay out there and you're going to put in the work, you know, and that's how he learned a lot, because Ron would make him stay out there. Ahmed didn't put in the time. He did, like I said, he didn't get it. I mean, he never caught on. Vince loved his body. He loved his look. Plus, Ahmed Johnson couldn't talk. You couldn't understand what he couldn't talk.
Yeah, I think it would be a fun game to put subtitles on with an Ahmed Johnson promo and see what happens.
I mean, you can go like, what? You know, we're gonna do
this.
Like, what are you saying? I bet you he gets told what 100 times a day. Like, what? You're I'm like, dude, I have no idea what he's speaking. I know it sounds funny, but it's true.
Talk about, you initially when you're in the Nation of Domination, you're with Ron Simmons, with Rock, but then Ron Simmons is out the group and it's the new Nation, Rocky, D'Lo, Mark Henry, and you. What was it like being in it without Ron Simmons compared to with him?
You can't forget it's business, so it's just you move on. It's like me coming in and they're saying you're not going to be Papa, you're going to be this. You just keep going forward. It's a job. Whatever they throw at you, you just do the best you can with that. We knew Ahmed wasn't going to work from the beginning because he didn't listen. We knew Mark Henry would work because he listened. And when you have somebody like Ron Simmons is like the father figure to all the black guys, even me, and he's only a year older than me. Okay. And he's the guy we go to. And he just, Mark listened to him. Ahmed just, I don't know, man. He just, like I said, D'Lo beat him up. Did you know that? Yeah, that's a story that's out there that he says that never happened. But whoever heard that story, it did happen. I was there, and it did happen.
So what was the story?
Ahmed was basically trying to bully D'Lo, and D'Lo wasn't having it. And then Ahmed took a swing at him and missed, and D'Lo took him down and chicken winged him and hooked him. It was going to break his arm until I said, D'Lo, let him up. And then Ron came over. D'Lo was like, no, I'm letting him. I'm going to break his arm. I'm like, D'Lo, if you break his arm, they're going to fire you, bro. Let him up. But that really happened.
And
all right, so that was the Godfather interview. So you notice he used the term he didn't get it. What did not get?
he didn't listen to Ron. That's what I heard.
Was it he didn't listen to the dominated the nah, he ain't from Mississippi. He's from originally Indiana, but he moved to Texas. Yeah, he's from originally from the Midwest. Then his he moved from the Midwest to Texas, cause him and Stevie Ray, they pretty much hung out together in Houston. And he'll even tell you in interviews that he never been to Pearl River, Mississippi. That was something they just made up. Yeah. So yeah, that was now him getting beat up by D-Lo. I don't. Well, first of all, if me and you get in a scuffle, JB, and you put me in a hold and I can't move, is that beat me up, or you just put me in a hold to calm my ass down?
I mean,
Now you still got
not
to run up on me,
necessarily.
but that's not necessarily getting beat up.
I think they put dubs on it. I think he tried to swing and D'Lo took him down and put him in the hole and they broke it up. So it's pretty much with the Charles Barkley and Shaq when Shaq swung on Charles and Charles took Shaq down and
Had
then
Shaq in a
until they
hold,
broke it up
but we
until they
all know
broke it up.
Shaq
That
Shaq
sound like
Shaq can young Shaq could probably.
yeah.
Shaq wasn't trying
So
to Charles Barkley.
no, but but I don't even care about that. Shit happens. When a grown ass man fight, scuffle.
That's a
I'm
good
talking
point. If he
about
broke his arm is getting beat up. That's a good point. But the point is, y'all notice a trend here. He didn't get it,
He wasn't going.
and yeah, he wanted to go along to get along. And you heard the interviewer that when he was speaking with Ahmad Johnson, that when the interviewer said he was interviewing Farouk, that Farouk said he gave Ahmad Johnson a receipt to calm him down. So I wouldn't be surprised if these jokers from the nation wasn't in on it.
But this is what I'm saying. This happened 30 years ago, man. Why can't y'all just squash it and be done with it? So, I mean,
I don't know, bro.
Because when people
They
think
still
something
part of
is
the
a laughing
business.
is a laughing joke, a running joke, they're gonna keep picking at it because they don't take it seriously. So everybody right now believe Ahmad Johnson is a running joke, but I believe the WWF is a joke, especially when it comes to treating black talent. Um, look at Bianca Belair. Look at Jade Cargill. Both of them should have the be women champions.
Montez Ford. Like,
Oh,
why is
Montez Ford.
because I'm telling you right now, see over Femi and Trick Williams, I promise you they're gonna screw that up.
Yeah,
And we see their track record, like I say. We talk about, we talk about our truth. We talk about the New Day. We talk about Crime Time and Saba Simba and
86. Hold on, y'all. 86 Gold said, but was he hurting people? If he was hurting people, he didn't get it. Goldberg was hurting people. Vader was hurting
Van
people.
Vader.
That's my point. There's other people that did not get it. If that's your definition of did not get it, did
They were
not get
stiff,
it.
in other words.
Yeah, they were stiff too and
We,
hurting people,
yeah,
hurting
we
stars.
we was
That's
we was
bull.
talking about that. Yeah, we was talking about that at the beginning of the show, 86, with stiff wrestlers, Vader, and Goldberg was famous for hurting people. like that, being too rough, actually.
Hit Bret Hart's career.
Yeah, so that it was like that. Um,
JBL.
but the reason
Brock
why he
Lesnar.
had to be
I can go
stiff
on.
is the reason why he had to be stiff 86 is because um
He was
Shawn Michaels told him stop doing that flying over the rope stuff because it's gonna make him look bad in the cruiserweight. Because remember they had a cruiserweight division '86
Yeah,
back in the
back in the
day,
day.
later on,
and
yeah.
some of those dudes couldn't even jump off the rope and stuff, and a moonsault and all that stuff. So they told him to stop doing that. So that's why he had to wrestle like um like a Andre the Giant and shit, and he was hurting people. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what you want him to do? And he was green. You
I think
know,
most of that he was just heavy handed and strong. But the thing was, there's a lot of wrestlers that were just heavy. Like again, Goldberg, Big Van Vader.
Road Warriors
double
was
standard is a double standard. I
That's
agree.
all. That's all I'm saying. 86 Ghosts. Double standard is a double standard. But people gonna act like the double standard is not a double standard. Especially if your skin is a certain color, especially your own people.
and like we were saying, people talk about him being a butthole. I mean, the way they talk, like Shawn Michaels was like the worst butthole ever. But all of a sudden, Shawn Michaels had this redemption story, and he's born again Christian and blah 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 blah. Well, why can't Ahmed Johnson have a redemption story?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, one of the best interviews I've seen. Shout out to you. I remember Ernest Miller, the cat in WCW. He was one of my favorite wrestlers and my dad's favorite wrestlers in WCW. He got actually got a good podcast. And he did an interview with Ahmad Johnson, and it was a good interview. In my opinion, it was a good interview. Um, so y'all check it out when y'all get a chance. And
I,
Ahmad Johnson admits in his interview he was green. You know what I mean? Maybe he was, but he was willing to. He's not running away from that narrative as far as him being green, like to learn. But my thing is, what was the issue or the common denominator that had a lot of the WWF boys say, back in the day, say, they give up on him.
Cause he pissed off Vince McMahon.
That's it, mostly.
And when you're not as good with Vince McMahon, they follow suit. And at the same time, I keep hearing it is a lot of do what I say. You heard what D'Lo said it and Godfather said it. You got to do what Ron said.
Mm.
So that's why Ron went out there and kicked the shit out of him. So that makes sense to me. It makes sense to me.
Ida Watcher said that did Jay lose the championship?
What happened?
Ida Watcher said did Jay Cargill lose the championship?
I think she did.
No, I don't know. I don't think she did.
On the the WWE on Monday night or Raw, or unless she in NXT or something,
No,
she got a championship in NXT.
no, I think she on. I think Jade Cargill on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that racist scumbag Tiffany Stratton.
No, she's still the champion.
No, but I'm telling you, I think that
Jay Cargill.
that's racist scumbag Tiffany Stratton. I think she's gonna get it back though.
Yeah. She is still probably the champion. Yeah, she is 86 Ghost. I'm just saying that. And then my apologies. Yeah, Jay Cargill is the champion. But watch this, how quick they get the champion off these women and these men. You remember Mark Henry finally won the championship and how fast his reign was ended.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about it. He didn't win a WWE title. He won the world title,
That's even the world title. So they couldn't even give him
WWE title.
the WWE title. Come on, man.
And like I say, they're synonymous for not pushing uh, uh, black champions properly, even black wrestlers in general. Man, Montez Ford should be at least the Continental champion, United States champion. They really haven't given him the push that he's deserving of. Uh, they didn't do what they could have did with the Hurt Business. Man, Hurt Business could have been like the Black Four Horsemen. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but essentially, what they did was kill off the Hurt Business and turn around and give that same push to the Bloodline. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, it was so obvious, bro. And it's like now, it's like all the stuff that they should do with black people, they do with people like John Cena, who was cosplaying as a black person. Now they doing it with the Samoans like Jacob Fatu and Jey Uso. I'm like, bro, they're not real black people. They're not, black Americans, the foundation of black Americans, or whatever term or verbiage you want to use. But they use black culture and
Yeah, Kofi Kingston.
yeah, I mean, like even we speaking of the New Day, man. What his name is? Not Kofi Kingston, the other one. Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods never won a single championship in history, and as long as he done been in WWE, you know what I'm saying. So the point I'm trying to make is like black wrestlers, it kind of like you on a job. I don't know if y'all ever been on a job. I've been a couple schools predominantly white, and it's kind of like, hey, you the token black guy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, hey, you got this to show, hey, we got black people on our roster, but they're not fully utilizing these black wrestlers to the best of their abilities. When you look at people like Montez Ford and let's see what they do with wrestlers like Trick Williams and Obafemi. It's like, come on, man. I mean, even Carmelo Hayes, he just kind of starting to get his just due. But somebody like Xavier Woods, he ain't really got his shine like he should have. They underutilized the Hurt Business. Even MVP, he said, hey, Triple H is a racist. And that's the thing about it. People thought, once you got rid of Vince McMahon and you got Triple H, you got to realize, just say we use an analogy, right? You talk about Republicans, you talk about Democrats. Is different sides of the same racist coin. And it's the same thing. You thinking, you get rid of Vince McMahon, it's gonna be better under Triple H. It's racism, but it's a different kind of racism, but it's still racism. You leave WCW, go to WWF, same kind of, different kind of racism, different company. You leave WWE and you go to AEW. All of it is racism. As long as, you under somebody else's thumb and somebody else calling the shots and we under this system that we under, you're gonna have the same result no matter who you are, where you go. The grass is not green on the other side in its context.
Yeah, man. So let's do this because on that same interview I showed you, and I'm gonna try to wrap everything up. I'm not gonna show it. Basically, y'all go on YouTube and you see what I'm talking about. Inside the ropes, the Mark Henry interview. He's basically defending Triple H when he did that blackface parody mocking The Rock. Y'all remember that? So Mark Henry pretty much defending that in that interview and saying, yeah, he was mad about it, but it was just entertainment. Okay. Um, and I have to watch said wrestling follows the general society, yes it does. So it's not surprising that the audience are more accepting of the Cena for example, compared to Ron Killing. That's a good example. And this video I'm about to play, that's discussed. Bruce Pritchard and Terry Taylor are both still in positions of power. They have a bad track of record with black people. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But fair use again, YouTube. Y'all make sure this is from brother Antonio Talks. Y'all make sure y'all, if you like his content, make sure you subscribe. But he has a very excellent video that I want to share, breaking it down. What we talking about breaks have a lot of good points. So let me know if y'all can hear it.
Now, me personally, I was born in 2001. So my main years of consuming WWE was from like 2006 to 2012. I was heavily into it during this time. I was really big into the high flyers. So, think Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, Sabu, those type of wrestlers. Now, I'm going to say something and y'all better not judge me for it. Growing up, I thought John Cena was black, or at least like he was mixed or something. If you remember early John Cena, man, they really had him lean into the stereotypical black American. The way he dressed, the way he talked, he had a whole stint where he was rapping. And me being young, I was like, oh, okay, he's probably just a young mixed man growing up in the hood. That was my thought. And this isn't a shot at John Cena, because I love John Cena. I'm proud of where he's come from, and he's always been a cool dude. But what you will notice is that him portraying this black person kind of propelled his career. And if you fast forward to today, it's like he has completely left that black identity that kind of propelled his career behind. Now, today we're going to be talking about, black wrestlers and how they are sometimes mistreated within the WWE. First and foremost, the WWE is very right-wing, conservative-based. The fan base of the WWE and the MMA are basically identical. And if you go back into the early days of WWE, it was very edgy, very racist, and at times it was funny.
If you're not Caucasian, then leave. Mark Henry, I don't make the rules around here, okay?
Bruh, niggas say he don't make the rules. You over the WWE. So these are the type of jokes that used to fly in the WWE, man. And growing up, it was funny to me. I was never a snowflake. Y'all got to realize I grew up in a time, man, 2012, 2013, in them COD lobbies, in them GTA 5 lobbies. If you spoke wrong, you got hit with the meanest slur. So I've never been a snowflake. It's just that now that I'm older, I can look back and kind of just reflect on these things better. But what Vince McMahon said in that clip has some truth to it. There is still a problem where it seems like black wrestlers are never really pushed.
Triple H does not book black men the way he books any other demographic in professional wrestling. Let's be clear. In the Triple H era, black men are booked for one of two reasons: to help further talent or for comedic purposes only.
He nailed that to a T. There is a theory. We all know our truth, but the only thing we know our truth for is like the jokes being silly, a clown. And it's like he has so much talent, bro. And I really hated that shit for him.
Before John Cena ever picked up a mic, there was our truth. He was black, original, and overlooked. Then comes John Cena, rapping the same way, dressing the same way, talking the same way, but he's white. So instead of being ignored, he becomes a legend. Our truth never got that same respect. They made him a joke.
All of y'all been against me.
And when he finally spoke out, he said it plain. To win in this industry, I gotta be a
Good R-Truth now.
a good boy, a safe black. Now John Cena turns heel, a low blow, a pin, and just like that, truth is released from the WWE. Storyline or not, is symbolism.
These people here make sure that it's all about John Cena.
White man takes the culture, becomes a hero. Black man creates it, get tossed aside. Dusty did it in the 70s, Hogan in the 80s, Cena in the 2000s, and WWE profits every time. Y'all gonna keep pretending like this ain't what it looks like?
I'm already knowing we're gonna get some comments, bro. It ain't about race, man. You overthinking it. Hey, he got some good points, bro. And like I said, bro, it's no shot at John Cena because I understand he's playing a part, but literally he was acting like a black person. And that's why I love WWE stars like Jeff Hardy, because he was acting like himself and everybody loved him. It's like every young black man, Gen Z black man, we love Jeff Hardy. I don't know what it is about him, bro. Like we kind of just love that raw grittiness of just y'all being yourselves. Steve-O, like we fuck with white people, but y'all just gotta be yourself. Y'all do not have to be to act black or act anybody else. Just be yourself. We love that shit.
Samoan wrestlers have been eating off black culture for years, while actual black wrestlers get left behind. They talk black.
Hey, don't get it twisted now, bro. They don't make them like me no more.
Walk black. Wrestle with that I'm from the streets energy. But here's the truth. None of them are black. Not Roman, not Jay, not Fatu. Only The Rock.
Hey,
and he
I feel like Fatu though. Fatu may not be acting. He may be the only one that ain't acting. You know what I'm saying? Although they might have been entangled in the culture and shit though. Although I did hear a lot of them motherfuckers racist too. You know, you got to thread the line, bro. Black people, we show love to everybody, but everybody don't like us. So you know, you got to kind of thread the line.
Only The Rock, and he even leaned into it when it was convenient. When
The Rock, I never considered The Rock black. I don't know what it is. I don't never.
Yeah, I remember that.
Hear him embrace his blackness. Maybe I just haven't seen it, but I don't know. We got to see who his wife is. She probably white, so
black wrestlers be themselves. When they bring that same energy, WWE calls it a gimmick. They get clowned, laughed at, and pushed to comedy. But when non-black wrestlers do it, it's cool, edgy, main event worthy.
See, I'm off the scale with it. All raw, uncut with it.
It's not new. It's just never called out. Black wrestlers can't even play the stereotypical black character without getting buried. But if you're Samoan, white, or anything else, act black all you want, WWE, they will put the title on you. They don't hate stereotypes. They just hate when the stereotype is actually black.
I've always had this theory that WWE pushes the Samoan talent over the black talent so that way they can feel like they're pushing black talent. Hear me out. Jey Uso is a prime example. Matter of fact, the Usos is a prime example. They come out, they dress like they from the hood. They got the gold, the drip and all that, the shoes and all that stuff. They talk how they talk, like as if they're black, but they're Samoan. So WWE looks at it like, okay, boom. People want to see the black talent get pushed, but if we push the Usos or any Samoan wrestler, the way that people want the black wrestlers to be pushed is cool. It's not cool, bro. It's not. You got people like Montez Ford, who could have got pushed at a point in time, who should have been the champion by now. You got people like Carmelo Hayes, who people want to see get pushed. You had people like Shelton Benjamin, who had potential to be a main event star if they would have pushed him the right way and gave him the chance to talk on the mic and get better. But instead, they relied on the Samoan.
None of this is surprising, man. You know, Triple H is the CCO over the WWE. He handles the storylines. He handles, you know, pretty much pushing different wrestlers. He's very right wing. He's very cool with Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? So I can see his ideology.
Westside Gunn is having a moment of realization that a lot of black WWE fans have to go through at some point. It's damn near like a rite of passage, if I can be real. And that's realizing that, one, the WWE does not give a damn about their black fans. And two, they for shit show do not give a damn about black culture unless they can repackage it and give it to a Samoan.
That's pretty much the entire world. You know what I'm saying? Nobody... They don't. That's the sad reality of pretty much everything. I know a lot of black people with anime, video games, they barely got customization for us. Only thing they give us is the sky top dreads with, like, nobody wear dreads like that, my nigga. Go talk to some real black, like, they don't really care about us, dog.
Sometimes a white dude. Shout out to John Cena. Westside Gunn is 1000% a bigger fan of wrestling than any celebrity that the WWE has on their product. This man literally founded his own wrestling promotion. We love WWE. Fourth Rope Wrestling, that's him. And if I can be so real for a second, if you've ever been to an indie wrestling show, or if you have the slightest idea how money works, then you know that indie wrestling promotions are damn near just passion projects so wrestlers can get a little paycheck, bro. There is no way in hell that Westside Gunn is making money running Fourth Rope Wrestling. There's just no way. And if he is, it's not a lot. Meanwhile, celebrities like Post Malone, who I'm sure does not actually give a damn about wrestling at all, gets to sit ringside. Come on, dog. Jelly Roll gets a 15 to 20-minute match with Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton at SummerSlam. Bert Kreischer's non-funny ass gets to be on multiple segments on multiple different shows for Raw. And Triple H is skipping actual wrestling shows to go do comedy shows with Tony Hinchcliffe and Austin. Get the hell out of here, dog. If we being real, there's only two real differences between Westside Gunn and all the other people that I just named. And that's number one, that the other people are more marketable to white people. And number two, that Westside Gunn could actually help the WWE's product. Everybody is complaining about entrance music, and Westside Gunn has one of the best entrance songs in all of wrestling right now. I was at All In this year. When the Hurt Syndicate came out with Westside Gunn, the entire crowd lost it. The entire crowd was singing, "Hey, yo, we heard people. We heard people." Show me a Def Rebel song that tens of thousands of people sing whenever they come out, bro. It doesn't happen. The last thing I'm gonna say is this: if the WWE don't give a damn about West Side Gun, a celebrity that has actually contributed to the wrestling space, then you know they don't give a damn about us. Actually, the last thing that I'm gonna really say is West Side Gun, you can always come home, baby. You know where home is.
That's it for this video, man. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'm not really into wrestling, but I low-key want to get.
Yeah, man. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all if you're interested, subscribe to the brother. But yeah, again, fair use YouTube. But yeah, man, this is basically what we've been talking about, man.
And he basically just said what Coach just basically said before you play the video about how, they push, instead of pushing the black talent, they push, the bloodline, and so that's
Any non-black fighter Samoan.
yes. So that's basically what's straight on what we've been talking about.
A bit, and everybody, the cosplay black instead of pushing an African, so you just use them as tokens. And like I said, you ever been on a job before and you like the token black? Even that situation, a real black person is a double standard who is highly scrutinized and you under the microscope. And I could relate with the wrestlers kind of going along to get along, but I don't like the buck dancing, and maybe that's why those two jobs I had, I really didn't last.
Yeah, and it speaks to a lot what a lot of black people in general have to go through in just everyday life, and any other job, any job in the NFL to whatever, not just sports, but like I said, any other job, just trying to survive. My thing is when you have your own black people that try to act like there's not obstacles or like you just don't get it. Again, what does that even mean? Just say what it is. Just say what it is. It's just that and I just wanted to create this show again, with this topic anyway, because I just call bullshit and all this. Y'all just piling up on Ahmed Johnson because you can, and there's proof. There are other wrestlers that if Ahmed Johnson was so bad, um, he there was other his white counterparts they were worse. Jeff Jarrett, Shawn Michaels wasn't a good person. So allegedly he gave his life to the Lord, but you know how that goes. You know, Triple Triple H is not necessarily a good person. So it just depends on what type of narrative people want to believe and they're going to push. And Ahmad Johnson is the easy narrative to push.
The black person always.
Yeah, always, bro, always. But I'm gonna stop the show right here, man. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. This is a good show, very good show. Uh, just wanted y'all to get y'all what y'all brothers thought, man. If y'all got any more questions or concerns about this, y'all put it in the comment section after the show. But want to hear what y'all think, man. Am I tripping to thinking that people just piling up on Ahmad Johnson, or he really is what he says, which I don't believe. There's a lot of bullshit, a lot of bullshit. Brent Fox said, Jared Low Green, unfortunately, we have to compromise a part of ourselves for our own survival. However, we cannot compromise our integrity. Happy Black History Month. And we gonna leave with that. I'm gonna leave that up there. Yes, sir. I watch it. I think you have a point. Yeah, man. Appreciate it, man. If I'm tripping, I'm overthinking, let me know, because I smell bullshit. Thank you, Brent. But Coach, let everybody know where they can meet you and see you.
You can meet me and see me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms, but I am primarily on YouTube. Um, maybe this weekend, if we could get the general, we might do another episode of the Black Man's Perspective on this channel.
Yes,
but
sir.
on Saturday, I'm gonna do a live stream on my channel, and then the plan is definitely to be back here on this channel at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday for the Southern Baller Show. But this was a great show. Love kicking it with y'all brothers. Y'all have a blessed evening and a blessed work day and a blessed weekend. Catch y'all on the rebound. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, and peace and blessings to the family, you dig?
Peace, man. And JB, appreciate you hopping on, taking time on your day, hopping on, giving your thoughts, man. Really appreciate it.
No problem, brothers. Y'all be blessed.
Great show, fellas, man. Thank y'all for all the brothers that came in, gave it, time out your day to hear us ramble on. Appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. Y'all have a blessed night.